to follow that. What an inspirational moment that was, listening to Matt, as is the whole of this event. And it's an absolute honour for me, and a moment I will never forget, I don't think, addressing this particular event. And solidarity from the Communication Workers Union. I've been a union activist for over 30 years. And I believe there is nothing more honourable than spending a life representing fellow workers. And people try to put you down for it always. But then you come to something like this, and I realise that my belief that it's the most honourable thing I could have done with my life is absolutely confirmed by you today. The trade union movement never deserted anyone, but politicians deserted the trade union movement. And isn't it great that we've now got a Labour Party that is proud to share a platform with trade unionists, not ashamed to be associated with them. Now, for everybody here today, not a lot of people will necessarily know me, but I know you. You're the heart and soul of the trade union movement. This is the home of the trade union movement, and anyone in it should come here and get the same inspiration and motivation that I've got from today. Yes, I'm the Deputy General Secretary of the postal side of the Communication Workers Union, but our union represents about 190,000 people in telecoms, people in the post office and people in Royal Mail. And we are constantly fighting against the same issues as other people. Attacks on our pensions, franchising out, trying to bring our jobs down to the lowest common denominator, trying to make them owner-drivers, 0 hours contracts, bogus self-employed, all the insecurity that's attacking working people. We've been in dispute with the post office, which is still nationally owned, for over a year now, franchising out Crown offices and again replacing decent jobs with the cheapest possible jobs you can imagine. But also in Royal Mail, that's now fully privatised, should never have been sold off. We're the only decent postal organisation in the world that has split the retail from the deliveries. But it's been done by this government because it's in the interests of profit. They knew they could sell off Royal Mail quicker if they left the post office in the public sector. But they're attacking both of them. And right now, Royal Mail, they're starting to attack. 3 years into privatisation, the conventional wisdom is coming. Now the only way they see us making a decent profit to stuff the pockets of shareholders is to attack our members in Royal Mail. And by the end of this summer, you will see postal workers standing up and fighting to defend decent jobs, defend our industry and defend our pensions. Now this is the only opportunity I'll get, so personally, as a young union activist, my inspiration, and it's not just because I'm here today, was the miners and the miners' trade union. I think we have to admit, all of us on this top table, and from whatever union, that is the strongest union we've ever seen in this country. And I look at the history of the miners, and I look at the things that they represent to me, and that's what we need in our society. Strong, honest, decent people. People that had great respect for communities, stood up for each other, looked out for each other. What is wrong with those values being part of our societies today? It's exactly what we need in our communities. But they was a threat to the establishment. They were the biggest threat to the establishment. So what did they do? Thatcher declared war on the miners. And it was war on the miners. Legalised violence to batter some of the most courageous workers in this country. And our union supports justice for Orgreave, and rightly so. Because future generations, reading the history, the social and industrial history of this country, need to read the truth on that issue. The same as Hillsborough, you've got to support Orgreave. And I'll tell you something, the establishment is now frightened again. Because we have got a Labour Party that is now standing up. Working class politics is back on the agenda, and they are scared out of their lives. One of the best days I've seen for years, I have to say this, Jeremy, was when the manifesto was launched. That was one of the best days I've seen for years, based on the analysis of people like William Beveridge all those years ago. You cannot have a stable society unless good, decent working people have got job, standard of living, pension, health, education, security. You'll never have a stable society unless those things are in place. And the Labour manifesto is saying it will. It also says it's going to renationalise the Royal Mail and put it back where it belongs. A proper public service serving every single person in this country. I know it's hot and there's a lot of speakers, so I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. I want to end on this point, because actually it's the motto for justice for all grief. But I think it sums up the last 30 years or more. 30 years of lies. No justice, no peace. Never forget, never forgive. Let's work harder and faster. Deliver the Labour government. Deliver Jeremy Corbyn as Prime Minister. And we can start building a society for the future generation. Thank you very much.